Welcome to Nightlight. Step away from the mainstream and gather around as we enlighten the world and our realities and travel this cosmic journey we call life. Join us as we share with you and provide that beacon that can guide us all to a better way. Explore with us as we examine a metaphysical montage of spiritual insights covering everything from the mundane to the magical, UFOs to unicorns, and everything in between. This is a time of awakening, of sharing and evolving, of spreading our wings and soaring on the cosmic breath of creation. Come and join with other light-minded spirits as we weave our lights together to seek understanding, enlightenment, and with a little luck, some wisdom. This is Nightlight, a reminder that you are never alone.
Hi, everybody. Glad you could join me tonight. Surprise, surprise, we actually are here. We've had some mix-up with scheduling and stuff like that over the past, but we have it straight tonight, hopefully. And there's only one small problem. My cohort, my other half, so to speak, did what many of us do on occasion, and get tired of our old equipment and decide to upgrade and get much bigger and better equipment. So he did. And now we can't make it work. So you're going to have to bear with me tonight because I'm not sure he's going to make it, but we're going to try to cover as much as we can and as many as we can. And I will try to catch stuff as it flows by me, but be patient and hang in there with me and we should be just fine. Want to mention a couple of things. We're making changes to the website, so barbaradulong.com. Check out that. The changes are mainly going to be with the library because we have so many books, so we're reorganizing that. It's not all the way there yet, but it's going to be, and it's going to be actually quite spectacular, and a testimony to Gregg's ability to manifest and create and make magic happen with whatever he touches. Also, let's see, what else do we want to talk to you about? There are so many changes going on here. It's kind of hard to keep track of everything. And so what we're doing is we have moved all of our postings over to my fan page because my other page there's too many people on it apparently. So I'll only be posting on my fan page. So if you really want to keep up with me, if you really want to see what's going on, I strongly suggest and request that you sign up for the fan page because that will give you notifications, that will let you know what we're doing and where we are and who we are. So apparently Gregg has entered, kinda. No, he hasn't entered. He just blinked in and blinked out. So again, new equipment, isn't it wonderful? So anyhow, we are on our way to expanding and becoming out there more. And I'm looking forward to getting the fan page really going. I'm actually posting every day on it. So if you want to see what's going on in my life, where I am, I think the last thing I posted, I believe, was my cat taking a nap. And it's just, it occurred to me that the only thing she has to worry about is where is she going to sleep next and where's the litter box. But aside from that, she has a blissful life. I just can't imagine what it's like to worry about where to nap next. So I think there are moments when I would really, truly love to try to do that. Gregg, are you here?
I am. Can you hear me?
Yeah, you're kind of low. I told on you that you had expanded and gotten bigger and better equipment that you couldn't make work. So.
Yeah, well, I'm working on that, setting up the new setup.
Okay, so you're either not close to your microphone or your new microphone doesn't work.
Well, it's the same old microphone. You can't hear me?
Wait a minute. Let me try again.
Testing 1, 2, 3. How's that?
Well, you're still faint, but that's okay because you're not going to do a lot of talking, I don't think.
Yeah, it looks like it's picking it up. Maybe put up your mic, your volume.
Okay. Well, that said, we have I think somebody waiting, at least one person waiting for a reading, I think.
Yes, we do. We have Jody Lynn, and she says, "Hi, Greg and Barb. I've been looking forward to your show. Would really like to get a reading. Thank you so much."
Okay. Jody, thank you for being there. Thank you for coming in and joining us and trusting that we actually are going to show up. The last time we didn't show up was because I had not put it on my calendar. So I made sure my calendar is now up to date. And as we get going and have a regular flow, I'm sure that it will become a normal thing for me. But I have no idea why I screwed up, but it was my fault this last time. Hey, Jody, what I've got here is you're at a time and a place within your life where you're letting go a lot of the garbage that you have been carrying emotionally, so that you're healing old wounds, you're letting go of things that no longer apply, you're sort of decluttering your emotionality, and that's going to be something that you work on for the next 12 months. It feels to me as though there's a massive healing that's going on here, and you're lightening yourself, the emotional stuff that you're carrying, and in doing so, you increase your ability to utilize your psychic abilities, your abilities to expand your consciousness into new and different realms. So the more you let go of, the less weight your physicality is going to be carrying. And I'm not saying losing weight. I'm saying emotional stuff. The more you let go of the emotional stuff, the greater the spiritual energy comes in. So that over the next 12 months, you're going to find yourself expanding your abilities, expanding your insights and inspirations, and moving your creative energy into far more unusual and unique places that are going to open doors for you that you really probably never expected would happen. It does feel here as though November is going to be a time here where you're discovering what it is you really need within yourself on an emotional level, and it changes your relationships, your friendships, your personal relationships, your business relationships. You're becoming more and more in tune with what the spirit within wants you to gather, and so that you're moving in new directions. And it feels as though the pathway ahead is really a lot smoother than you had anticipated. Yet there are always going to be lessons, there are always going to be challenges. So do understand that while you are letting go of a lot of stuff, it means that there are other levels, greater depths of things that you're going to be dealing with, so that, we're never without challenges. If we don't have challenges, there's no point to life. So as you get into December, there's a sense here of crown chakra opening up to a greater degree, welcoming in new insights and new perspectives for new directions. It does feel as though there's a greater flow. I feel that if you have had any physicality, any aches, pains, things that are of a minor area, they're going to kind of dissipate and go away. I feel that you're letting go of things that have held you back, and in doing so, and I'm talking emotions, and in doing so, you're opening yourself up to a greater potential on a spiritual level as far as what's coming into your life. January holds a new level of love, a new understanding of the concept, the aspect of love, and what it means, and how you share with others, and how others share with you. So there's a new level of spiritual enlightenment here that deals with the aspect of love. It doesn't necessarily mean that it's a physical thing, but on many levels it does transfer into the physical as well. And so your ability to partner with other people on many different levels, whether it's business or whether it's pleasure or whether it's a one-to-one relationship, is going to expand and become greater and more intensive. As you come into February, there's a sense here of understanding how the spiritual aspect of love comes to play within your life to a far greater degree. It also seems that as though there is a new level of spirituality that is in embracing you. I feel that you may even find you feel what I call spiritual hugs, which are which are almost like hot flashes, but not quite. You're going to feel that the universe is reaching out to you as you are reaching out to it, and it means that there's greater expansion, there's greater creativity, and creativity comes in here all over the place, because it does feel like the more creative you are, the more spiritual you become, the greater your impact and your ability to touch into other people and other aspects of life. March has a sense here of body, mind, spirit coming together, so that you're taking the spiritual insights that you have and you are pulling the physicality into it as well, so that you are rebalancing your life. You're letting go of things that no longer apply to you, and I'm talking concepts or habits. This is a place where you let go of habits, and it looks to me as though you have several that you're choosing to let go of. I'm not saying they're dangerous. I'm just saying they're habits and that you don't need them anymore. As you hit April, there's a sense here of new freedom, of being able to move in new directions. It feels like you've let go of things that were holding you down and holding you back. And the creativity is here as well, so that the more creative you are, the more exciting life will become, the faster you're going to move forward and in directions that you don't anticipate. May has new foundations. You are laying new foundations to work from, to grow from. And it feels as though there is a sense here of renovation of wherever you are physically living, whether you are staying there or not. It looks like you're contemplating a move, and that potential is here. I don't see it happening immediately, but it does feel as though there's an itchiness, so that there is and it's not a rash, it's just an itchiness that you kind of want to move into a new direction, into a new shelter for yourself. June has you focusing on the things that you need to do for you. It feels like you do so much for other people. Often you neglect yourself. And in the June timeframe is where I see you taking care of yourself to a far greater degree. I feel also that this is a time when you're going to be making some major changes within your own physicality, whether it's changing the clothing that you wear or the style or your hair or whatever. But there's almost a makeover on a massive basis here next June. As you get into July, there's a sense here of your house being in order. And that is an indication that you're moving in new directions. And it's very appropriate because when we hit August, we have Phoenix rising energy here. So you're really rebirthing yourself. You're letting go of everything that doesn't work, and you're making room for new ways of approaching your reality and approaching every aspect of your reality. As you hit September, there's a sense here of creativity and healing energy blending together. So it does feel as though there's a sense here of finding a new balance within yourself. And as you hit October, there's a lot of work, because it does feel that you are in many ways changing the direction you want to work in your life. This may well be a shift or change to a new level. And if it's not a new level, it may actually be a new and different job that you're getting into. Hope that helps you. And thank you for being here and being first. That was fun to see somebody here, since Gregg isn't here.
All right. Next up, well, we have a few people. Mark is in here. Betty's in here. She just said Mercury retrograde. She didn't ask for a show reading, but is Mercury in retrograde? Maybe that's why my computer was acting up. Mercury retrograde? Anyway,
well, Mercury retrograde is when everything slows down. Mercury retrograde is it's a time when Mercury itself, the planet, does go backwards, and it's a time when it's not wise to sign contracts, to to jump into new jobs, to new relationships, to new anything. It's a time when legal papers, it's smart to not sign them if you can avoid it, but to certainly check things out and make sure that everything is appropriate in the way you want to make it. They say not to sign contracts during Mercury retrograde, but Mercury appears to me to go retrograde far more often than anything should. But I don't know if we're Mercury retrograde. I'm not an astrologer. But I do know that when it is in retrograde, that communications are often screwed up. So I'd like to blame Mercury retrograde for our having to cancel and move shows around, but I'm not sure that we can do that. But if we can, I'll let Mercury be the blame.
She said she was referring to my issues.
Is Mercury a retrograde?
I don't know. She said,
it must be.
All right. Well, let's go move on here. Next up is Nancy Ray. And she says, hello, Barbara. What past life most influences my present life? Thank you.
Okay, Nancy. Let's see what we got here. I'm throwing out cards here because grabbing a past life on the fly, well, it can be done. It's a lot easier this way. Okay. I would say that there is a preponderance here of, it's interesting, there's a preponderance here of past lives that deal with legality and balance. And so what I'm feeling here is that for this particular time frame, there's a sense of justice within you that is amazing. You've had past lives in which you have been one who has sat in judgment of others, but I'm not feeling as though it's a legal thing. I'm feeling as though it's a more spiritual thing where you weren't in judgment, but you were sharing wisdom, and that wisdom helped others to judge what they were doing within their own life so that they were able to lead a better life. I feel you in many places, the head of a group. If I take it way back, if I go back, gosh, how far back? If I go back 2, 3, 4,000 years, you were the head of a group, and it was in the area of, I'm bad with geography here. So it was actually in the area of Italy, and you were the head of a group, a tribe, if you will, and you were the wise person who was in charge of making sure the community stayed in balance and was flowing, was crops were appropriate, and everything was working in unity and unison. So that was a lifetime where you weren't necessarily a judge, but you were one who kept the balance. And if I go back a little even further, it feels as though while the word judgment keeps coming up here, you were not ever in a judge's position where you were trying criminals or anything like that. But the element of judgment is here, where you were meting out wisdom so that people could find the balance within their life of justice. And it feels as though these lifetimes that I'm seeing where you are giving, excuse me, physical, spiritual wisdom so that people could make judgment on their own. It's really, if I go back 6,000 years, this is really cool, because while I see judgment here, the word judgment comes in, but not as a judge, as a wisdom keeper. You are a wisdom keeper. And it does seem that the other thing that comes up here is the Tuatha De Danann. And I don't know if you're familiar with them, but they were Irish, and they predate the Druids by quite a bit. I don't know how far back they go, but they go back way far. And what I'm seeing here is that you have that aspect, that quality. And it feels to me as though I keep feeling something in your ear. I'm wondering if you feel a buzzing or a ringing or something in your ear when you're getting insight or wisdom that comes from spirit, because you have the aspect of being a wise, wonderful person who other people dump their problems on, and you give them the ability to understand the source so that they can heal themselves. You have an amazing quality here. The element of bringing wisdom forward appropriate to the time is something that you have practiced for generations and generations and generations. It feels as though this may be even a familiar connection that you've got, because where I can see you with not white robes, but robes on, and people coming to you for advice, and you don't tell them how to solve their problems. You give them the tools to do it themselves. I do feel you do that this lifetime. And I guess a wisdom keeper is the best title I can give it. I would say that you've had, to my count, as far as what I'm seeing here, 8 or 10 past lives going back 10,000 years. The other place where I see you doing this is in Bosnia, in the area of the Bosnian pyramids. And if you don't know about them, I would definitely look into them, because that was a place where you lived in a cave and you gave out wisdom to people who came to you for healing, for understanding, for insight. And what I love about it, every past life I click into here has you with giving wisdom and insight, but never giving a person the answer they were looking for. So a wisdom keeper is probably the past life that has followed you through time. It's even taken you off planet from time to time too. So, and those are lifetimes that we could go into, but we only have 2 hours. So, but wisdom keeping is what you are, the past lives that you have, both as male and female. It feels that they are a very balance of bringing perspectives to you. And what's really cool is you never, it's not like you would go into a trance like the Oracle of Delphi. You were kind, and what I really love is small animals followed you everywhere in some of these past lives, and it was really cool. Little animals, the kind that are furry, and there were probably other kinds too, but I just don't see them because I don't like the creepy crawlies. But it seems to me that there is a gentle aspect to you, and people are and always have been drawn to that element of wisdom that you have, that you share. But the coolest thing is you don't share it unless you're asked. And that's an aspect that you bring through time. That's something that all the master teachers practiced as we came along through time. They never gave an answer. They never gave wisdom without a question that's solicited from them. And what's amazing here is, even though you didn't read books or write texts or anything like that, when a question was put to you, the answer came from spirit. It came directly from spirit. And I do believe that aspect you have now. And I keep feeling my right ear. I keep feeling that there is some sort of signal you get when something is trying to come through, and maybe you're not letting it, or don't acknowledge it. I hope that helps you. This is really cool. Wisdom keepers don't often call into the show, or maybe they do and I just don't know. But a wisdom keeper through time the farthest back I can go here is about 25,000 years, and it's the same concept. It's wisdom and insight when it's sought, and you never give an answer. You only give a philosophy so someone can solve their own problem. The best way any wise person can help other people. Hope that helps. Okay, Greg.
Okay, good. We got a feedback from Jody. She said, phenomenal. Thank you so much. All right, next up we have James Harris. Said, hi, Barbara. Any opportunities on the horizon for me? And if so, location. And then she realized that you were doing monthly. So she said, oh, you're doing monthly readings. Wow, so cool. I'd love to hear more. So
Okay.
I'll go back to the original one.
Yeah. I mean, if there's a specific question, I'll take it, but it's more fun to do the monthly because often that will answer whatever the original question was. And as far as location and stuff like that goes, unless I have an atlas in front of me, we're in trouble because I'm not great on geography. It does feel as though the next year is going to be a year in which there's compensation coming at you in lots of different places. So it does feel as though your talents and your gifts are beginning to become more and more fruitful than they ever have been before. It does feel as though there's a sense here of new direction, and compensation doesn't always have to be money. Compensation can be opportunity, it can be gifts, it can be all sorts of wonderful other ways of bringing a richness into your life. Excuse me. So what I'm seeing here is that you have the freedom to make some choices and go in new directions if that is something that you so choose. And it does feel as though there is a gypsiness about your energy, so that it's not surprising that the possibility of travel, of moving around, of going in new directions is something that draws you, because there is an inner restlessness, at least what I'm seeing here, that kind of wants change, kind of wants new stuff, kind of wants new directions to go in. I would say that as you hit the December timeframe, it's a matter of tying up your loose ends, because you have a lot of loose ends here. So I would start tying up your loose ends and sort of putting things in order, because as you get into the new year, it does feel as though there's travel, there's movement, there's stretching yourself and going in new directions. So it would be very appropriate for you to sort of, you're not a gypsy, but it feels to me as though you need to have newness, you need to have new directions, you need to have new aspects of life thrown at you in order for you to feel alive and challenged. And as you hit the January timeframe, here's where a lot of new possibilities seem to crop up for you. It's almost like I would start making lists of places you'd like to go and things you'd like to see, and please keep it local to the United States, because my strong feeling here is that outside of this country is not wise for the next couple of years. As you hit April, you're evolving into new aspects of self. You're evolving into new directions, and it feels to me as though you're going to be drawn by spirit into new areas of life. Now that has to do with not only professional, but it has to do with location and the geographic location that you're going to be in. I feel strongly, I keep seeing mountains, and it's funny because Colorado has mountains, and there are some mountains out in the West. I keep seeing mountains, but these are mountains covered with trees, so it's more of an eastern mountain than a western mountain, so to speak, that I'm seeing. But you're somebody who needs a mountain to climb. And whether it's a real mountain or just a challenge, you need a mountain to climb. And it does feel as though as you get into the March timeframe, the aspect of the presentation of the possibilities of mountains are here. There's also the element of having the spirit within you giving you messages, giving you hints, giving you insights. The important thing is that you pay attention to them so that you can actually take advantage of them. Again, I say it all the time, a journal's a good idea. When you keep getting the same type of dream, or when something keeps hitting you in the face over and over and over again, pay attention, write it down so that you can kind of figure out just what direction you need to be going and what's going on in your life. As you hit April, here's where there's balance and justice. Here's where you're tying up a lot of loose ends, some of them legal, and you're freeing yourself from some of the restrictions that have held you back. I feel that there's a good sense of balance here. There's a good sense of needing to let go of some of the things that have dragged you down and allow other things to move you forward. There's there's abundance coming your way in the May timeframe. This is not lottery and it's not a tax refund, but there's abundance on many different levels. Some of it is financial, but some of it is new people coming into your life, giving you new insight and new direction and new friendships that are going to draw you in new directions. There also may be some new challenges that you come up against that are very exciting. I feel the aspect of teamwork here. So you will be a member of a team here. And it does feel as though you're working hard towards new directions. As you get into the June timeframe, it feels here as though there's a sense here of you not trusting your own judgment. And so I think the important thing for me to say to you is that the only person that is going to limit you or hold you back is your doubts. So do try to understand that when you're playing I doubt it with yourself, that's the ego and your consciousness saying, no, you can't do that. While your spirit is saying, go for it, there's part of you that's saying, I don't think so. This is not a good idea. Now, just to be perfectly clear here, the challenges that you are going to be presented with, they will be legal and they will not compromise your moral judgment. But there are going to be opportunities and challenges that you're going to back up and say, I don't know, I'm not, it's like me wanting to be in a swimsuit competition, not this life. But it's kind of like if it's just beyond reason, pay attention. But if it's just your own self-doubts, you never know if you don't try. You can't fail if you don't try, but you also can't grow. So take time to sit with stuff and decide whether or not it's the ego saying, I don't think so, let's hide in the corner, or if it's really an opportunity that you want to try and you just don't know that if you're up to it, because you will be up to it. When challenges come your way, you are up to surmounting them, or they wouldn't be there. They're a way the universe puts a possibility of growth in front of you. And if you don't take the first one, there'll be another one and another one and another one. So what comes your way in the June timeframe are going to be challenges, and you're going to be up to them. It's just that you're going to kind of question and you're not real sure you're actually going to be up for it. But I promise you are. As you get into the July timeframe, there's a lot of work here. So it does feel over the summer, over July and August especially, there's a lot of healing energy here. There's a lot of work. It's not a vacation time for you. It's work, but fun work. It feels to me as though you are moving in new directions, and so the challenges are exciting for you. And so especially in the August timeframe, there's a sense of letting go of some of the restrictions you put on yourself and moving in new directions that may well be a change of profession for you at some point in time. September has, again, the element of work. So July, August, September, there's a lot of rolling up your sleeves, working on new directions, working in new directions, and in doing so, opening up the possibility and the potentiality for a tremendous amount of change in your life. As you hit October, there's a sense here of karmic debt paid and new karma, positive karma coming into your life, as it's almost as though opportunities are just going to open to you like crazy, and it's going to have It's going to be a lot of fun for you because you're going to have the freedom to make the changes that are opening to you finally, because it feels like you've let go a lot of the restrictions that you put on yourself. Other people didn't put them there. You put them there. And you're letting go and you're moving into new directions. And again, the element of compensation comes in here so that I think that where things may have been very, very tight up to this point in time, they are they're loose, things are loosening up, but just be careful and don't go crazy with it, because you need to have a balance. And in the past, there hasn't been a balance there, but there's a balance there now. So it looks like it's going to be a very exciting year for you. Okay, Greg.
Okay. Got a little bit of feedback from Nancy. She said, thank you. Maintaining balance has always been important to me. I want to visit the Bosnian pyramid someday. Then she said, also, small animals always follow me. So there you go.
Very cool.
All right. Next up is, I actually asked for a name. Her name is Jamila, Jamila, Jamila.
Okay.
And she said, I want to know what is in store for me in the near future.
Okay. I think all of us want to know that. The energy is so crazy out there. It's just really hard to figure. What's in store? Okay. Oh. Okay. Good question. It feels like you've been working very, very hard on the essence of spirituality. Not that you're becoming a fanatic, because you're not, but you're working on opening yourself up to the spirit that is within you. And in so doing, I don't know whether it's meditation or if it's some form of spiritual work that you're doing, but it does feel as though the potential for you to open the crown chakra, to allow greater intensive energy to flow into your reality, is definitely here. It feels as though you've been working very hard to open to what spirit has to share with you, as opposed to what you've gathered from books or school or whatever. And it does feel as though what's opening up for you is crown chakra is absolutely it's not bursting open. It's sort of like, you know how you screw something that and it opens and it closes like an eye. And what you've got here is crown chakra open and flowing for the next 12 months. It's almost as though you've been looking for a spiritual opening, and you've found it. You've tapped into it. You are more in tune with the spirit that you carry within than you ever have been before. And it does feel as though you have a better balance between the consciousness, the ego, and spirit than you ever have been before. So that while the ego will always try to butt in and direct you in other directions, it's not going to be able to do that. You are more in tune with the opening that the spirit is opening for you, and it's the crown chakra. So you may find yourself from time to time feeling a little bit of vertigo or little headaches now and then. Crown chakra is really cool because it opens you up to a greater potential of spiritual insight, understanding, and the potential for utilizing that to enhance and elaborate on your own talents and skills within this lifetime. As you hit December, there's the element of what you send out returns to you greatly magnified. It's almost as though you are becoming more free to reach out and share with other people than you ever have been before. That doesn't mean you put up a billboard someplace or something like that, but it's like you are open to learning and growing on some of the new levels that are going to be available to you. Phoenix Rising isn't here, but the threshold card is, which would indicate that there is the potential for the crossing of the threshold into understanding of this and other dimensions. So there's a potential of taking the energy that you now have and that you now utilize and expanding it so that it reaches beyond your consciousness understanding, and that the spirit within you is able to help you and guide you into new elements of understanding of this reality. As you hit the January timeframe, it feels like home is changing, like you're moving into a new aspect of home within yourself, and it may even be changing your physical home as well. Home is definitely an area you're focused on in the January timeframe, and it does feel as though you are looking to create a space that is unique for you, for your spiritual practice and your enlightenment, so to speak. As you hit the February timeframe, there's a sense here of I see books, and I don't know if books are my way of saying you're learning more, or if it's actually books. I often would say to people, I think you've mugged a library. I feel you digging into ancient wisdoms. I feel you looking for insight and understanding. I do not recommend classes. I do believe that the spirit within is the only guide that you need, and that you will be guided in the direction that is most appropriate for you. If you're not already a practitioner of some sort, whether it's Reiki or Tai Chi or any of the spiritual modalities, I would highly recommend that, that's where you can go into a class. That's where I would say a class is very appropriate. In Tai Chi, especially, you will feel the energy running through your body, literally, if you have a good teacher. And if you do, then that will help you to utilize the opening that your crown chakra is giving you to reach above and beyond and into the realms that are, now calling to you, quite obviously. April has a unity of focus. It does feel as though you're looking in new directions to take your studies, your insight, your understanding. And I'm not saying quit your day job, but I am saying, your understanding of how you apply yourself to your reality is changing and shifting greatly. That's March. March is the time for where there's that unity of focus. April is the time where the threshold card indicates that you're opening yourself up to greater understanding of the spiritual direction that you're going to be taking this lifetime, that you're already on, but that it will expand and open you to even greater dimensions. It's going to be a very exciting time. The only problem is it's really hard to share with other people what you're going to be going through, because everybody goes through it differently. As you hit the May timeframe, there's a well, the card that falls here is my pregnancy card, but I don't necessarily feel you being physically pregnant, but I do feel that there is a pregnancy of new spiritual awareness that is ready to open. And it does feel as though that this is a time when you are birthing a new aspect of yourself. And in birthing a new aspect of yourself, you are understanding that there is a greater depth of material that you can draw from and apply yourself to, which is really cool. So that you are, in many ways, you're birthing a new aspect of yourself. You're birthing a new ability to utilize the spiritual skills and talents that you're constantly broadening and stretching and moving into. You have your perception. Your third eye is wide open as you get into the June timeframe. I would say that your ability to see into other people is increasing greatly. I don't know what you'll do with it, but you will be able to see what people's intentions are and what their directions are. I'm not suggesting you become a reader. I am saying that this is a wonderful talent that you can utilize for yourself, and finding the people that you are more appropriate for you to become connected to and working with. July has has a number of new directions for you. It feels like there are new people coming into your life. There may be some that are searching and seeking as you are. Science of Mind is a good it's a good book to take into consideration as far as spiritual insight. And if you wanted to do a Science of Mind group where everybody gets together and everybody reads the same thing and you talk about it, that's the kind of gathering I would see as being most appropriate for you. As you hit the August timeframe, there's a sense here of you feeling that there is definitely guidance and spiritual presence around you, and it's there to support and help you to move in new directions. And as you hit September, again, here's the element of new light coming into your life, new talents, techniques. It does feel as though there's new wisdom coming into you. We have those moments when we go, aha, and then it changes our perspective of everything around us. I think that's, from what I'm seeing, that's what I'm seeing happen in the September timeframe. And in October, a sense here of a spotlight falling on you, as though people are beginning to notice that there are changes going on, and those changes are quite profound. And on a spiritual journey like you're on, so many people ask, how do I know if I'm on the right path or on the right track? And you're on the right path if things start to fall in your lap, if things start to happen automatically before you really realize you need them. If you're pounding your head against a brick wall, chances are you go in the wrong direction. And if you pay attention to that, then you don't get migraines. So if a brick wall is in front of you, if something appears to be stopping you, do recognize there may be a better direction for you to go in, and stop trying to butt your way through a brick wall, but rather look at the other options that are open to you, because they're usually far greater than the potential that was beyond the brick wall. Hope that helps.
Okay. Well, she had a few comments during your reading. She said, I've been trying to take meditation seriously because I feel I need to go within. So I'm glad to hear what you said. I struggle with meditating because it's so hard to focus, but your reading is.
You let me just kind of go into this a little bit more. Everybody has their own private way of meditating. It doesn't have to be a traditional form at all. So that if many people, their form of meditation is doing a jigsaw puzzle. My way of meditating often is gardening or doing some form of creative handiwork that is repetitious, so I'm not thinking. The point of meditation is to not think. It is to let spirit flow through you and give you information. If you're thinking, you're not meditating. So if you're trying to do traditional meditation, please understand that that's only good for the people that invented it. Sometimes just watching clouds, watching another form is really kind of boring, but some people do it, is watching an ice cube melt in the sun. It's stopping yourself from thinking, because when you're thinking, you're going into the intellectual aspect of your brain. And what meditation is meant to do is to turn the thought off and allow material to come through spirit. So I can't sit and chant. I couldn't get in a lotus position if you paid me to, but so everybody finds their own way of stopping thinking, and it's you do it alone, but you find a way to do it so that you can relax into it and allow magic to happen. If you're trying to seriously do traditional meditation, often people think their way through it and think they've meditated, but they haven't. It's when you stop thinking and allow material to come through you, that you are absolutely in touch with spirit. I hope that helps, because most people think that it has to be one way or it's not a true meditation, and that's not true.
Wow.
I mean, what did people do that there weren't meditation schools before? They found a way of stopping their brain and allowing spirit to flow through them.
Wow. Wow. Oh, yeah, she said you're giving her more motivation. Then she said, "Thank you so much." And she made another comment here. "You went above and beyond for me. Thank you.
Anytime.
Thank you. You really helped me." Okay, so sounds like she's grateful. All right, next up we have someone who's been here before. Actually, her name was Energy. He or she was Energy Shifter, and then changed the name. I don't know if you recall. And she says, "Do you see a significant other entering my life? Any legal issues that need attention that I may or may not know about?"
Okay. I mean, I'd say go visit a psychic, but you are. Okay. The answer to your significant other is really easy, and I'm sure you've heard it before, but I'll say it again. Well, first of all, some people, many people, feel they need to have a significant other to be complete. And that's not true, and that's not appropriate. A significant other is usually a person who is as whole as you are. If you're ready for a significant other, the significant other will be there. However, some people on spiritual journeys find that as they grow, as their talents and their gifts expand, the person they're with isn't growing at the same speed, at the same rate, at the same whatever, and what was once perfect now becomes annoying. And you appear to be one of those people that are a great partner. But the reality is that as you grow spiritually, whoever you're with is not going to grow as fast, so that you will move on or they will move on. A significant other is really cool, but if you're on a real spiritual journey, you never are at the same pace with the person you're with. You are definitely a spiritual entity. You are definitely someone who has heavy duty spiritual insight and whatever. And you are, I would say even a powerful spiritual energy, so that while people will be fascinated by you, they will have trouble partnering with you because you are so strong. So I would say that you are more the kind of person that will have a number of people that you are with from time to time, and they will be significant for a time, but that you are growing in such a powerful way that people will drift away as is appropriate. So, you know, and they'll all be loves of your life in different ways. It's an exciting time for you. It's profound, but you're reinventing yourself so frequently. You have this wonderful energy that just explodes and draws you in new directions. And people may think that you're not able to stick in a particular area or direction, but reality is you get what you need, you grow beyond it, and then you move into whatever is next that you need. I'm not saying that I'm saying that you will have significant others in your life, but you'll have many. And as you grow beyond them, it won't be horrible stuff, but you'll just move forward into another area of life, and then another significant person will be there to partner with you for a time. I'm just not seeing your energy, the kind of energy that has a once and forever person in their life. These times that we're in right now don't suggest that kind of partnership. It's everybody is growing so amazingly rapidly, and the changes are so profound that it's very hard to stay in a relationship that, and relationships are very, very close, and it's very hard to keep another person up with what you're doing and saying and feeling as with them to you. So I think you have the power that will pull people to you for a time, and you'll have many significant others, I guess is the best way to put it. One at a time, please. It gets very confusing if you try to go beyond that. Legalities, I don't see any legalities. It's any legal issues that need attention. I'm not seeing any legalities here, but I am seeing that as you get into the new year, as you hit January, February, there may be projects that you get involved with that may have contractual things involved with them. Make sure that you protect yourself. Make sure that you get the kind of advice you need. Don't try to be everything to everyone. If there are legalities involved, get a lawyer. Don't do things on a handshake or a promise. That doesn't work these days. It does feel as though as you hit the March time frame, here's March time frame is where someone does come into your life, but it could be a partner, it could be a teacher, it could be somebody that becomes a very, very close friend with you. Close friends will stay longer than significant others. But this new person coming into your life in March looks interesting. But at the same time, April has crossing a threshold to this in other dimensions. Great spiritual energy here, great spiritual direction. You may start a project or a group or a project, I think, that will take a great deal of time and energy, but will manifest into something down the line that'll be very beneficial to you. As you hit the May time frame, here's birth of a new aspect of yourself. Here's new direction, and this is major change. This would probably shift the romantic type of person in your life for sure. As you hit the June timeframe, here's insight and wisdom, here's new direction, here's trust yourself, because you are your best guide as far as what you need to do for yourself and for your life and direction. As you get into the summertime, July has books all over the place. I feel that there are some creative projects that you're going to be involved in that will certainly bring in new people into your life, and possibly travel, so that there is travel coming up next year, summertime for sure. And as you hit August, here's where there are changes that take place. There are things that slow you down that may cause you some frustration, but those changes are very important. And as you move into September, there's a sense here of guidance from the other side, of a greater closeness and understanding to the spirit within, and a higher consciousness overriding the consciousness. And in the September time, you'll understand that. And it does bring in new abundance, new growth, new direction. And as you hit October, there are changes here and shifts. Your life is a roller coaster ride, and it's going to be hard for any one person to ride the whole thing with you. But happily, there are numbers of them that will. So you'll always pull into you exactly the kind of person you need for a period of time, and then everybody moves on. It's really a kind of cool way to grow. as you hit the November timeframe next year, here's where you may find yourself signing contracts of some sort that have to do with a project that you have created and are working through promoting, but this doesn't start until after the first of the year. So try to flow with things rather than push them, and enjoy the variety, because it's going to be a very exciting time and very enriching and emotionally very rewarding. Hope that helps.
Okay. So who do we have next? We have Kali, or maybe Kalio. I don't know if that's supposed to be. It's 3 L's there, so it's Kyle. Maybe just Kyle. Anyway, hi Barbara. Do you see anything around my court case pursuing child support? Any insight is helpful. Thank you.
Court case and child support. Okie doke. I hate the law. Sorry about that. I am surrounded by lawyers. Everybody in my family has been a lawyer. Not me, but I have a son and a daughter-in-law that are lawyers. My grandfather was a lawyer. I have an uncle that was a lawyer. I have a grandfather and his brother were lawyers. And would you believe I can't get anybody to fix a parking ticket? You know, and when I ask for advice, I'm told, oh, I don't know, I'm not in that, you know, I can't practice in that state. So, okay, child support. Well, not my court case, pursuing child support. I feel strongly here from the cards that are here that there is a struggle here that's very clear, and the struggle is meant for you to learn from and go beyond. It does feel as though no matter what happens between now and June, it will be changed in June. By the time you get to June, there's abundance here for you. You're crossing a threshold into new understanding. There's guidance here from the other side. There's so that between now and June, you may go through a difficult time. Stuff in the home may change and shift around slightly. But it does feel as though you're going to be all right. That anything starts to really flow until June. So that there may be setbacks along the way. But as you hit June, that's when everything changes for you and moves in new directions. This is a time for you to understand that you are moving in new directions, that there are going to be challenges between now and June, and what they are, you know, when we have challenges that or hurdles that we have to get through or over, that it just means that we've grown, and the challenge is there to prove to us that we can surmount that problem and move you into a new direction. Court, it just feels to me as though even though you may be going to court soon, it doesn't feel as though anything is really resolved until June. And even though it may feel resolved, something will open up, and in June you're going to find abundance coming your way. Doesn't mean you're going to be rich, but it means that there's fairness that is going to come into your direction. So I would, please understand that even though there will be struggles, they are only struggles that are there to prove to you that you're stronger than you think. And it does feel as though you are moving in new directions. and the challenges are meant for you to bring your creativity into play. There is not, please keep everything noble and above board. Don't try to get even. Don't try to push. Don't try to manage something else. Allow the process to work its way out. And in the meantime, finding new ways to overcome the challenges that you are facing. Nothing is life-threatening here. It does feel as though you can manage and you can grow and you can overcome anything that comes your way. And by the time you hit June, that's when magic happens. That's when there's a turnaround. Something happens that opens the door for abundance to come your way, and you're not going to be rich, but it's going to be fair and equitable. And not only that, it's almost as though the universe is saying, just wait it out, let things progress the way they are, or it's determined, and that as you hit the June timeframe, this is where you're able to reach out and get greater reward for the efforts that you've been given. It's going to be an interesting time for you, and life is struggle. But I'm not seeing you homeless, and I'm not seeing you going hungry or anything like that. But I am seeing that when you are challenged on a spiritual level, you are able to overcome anything, and you are able to use your creativity to actually benefit you far greater than if you were given, great abundance now. I think that what's going on here is a growth process, and it's a challenging one, but it's one that you're up to. And knowing that come June, everything is going to resolve itself in a very positive way. And from then on, then you see, we grow when we're challenged. When everything when everything comes easy to us, there's no reason to be creative. And if we're not creative, the spiritual isn't fed and we don't flow. So that having difficulties is the universe's way of saying, okay, reach in, be creative. And when you're creative, then spirit can help you to fix things instead of sitting back and feeling sorry for yourself. Get to work, do something different, do something unique, and make things flow. I think you're being given an amazing opportunity here, and it does feel as though you're going to rise to the occasion. And as that happens, everything flows more easily for you after the June timeframe. But what happens is, if you're too comfortable, you won't be creative. If you're not creative, spiritual journey sits still, and then things will come to a stop, and you'll have to be creative again. I mean, it's not the end of the world, but if you can avoid that coming to a stop, I would highly recommend it. Hope that helps.
Okay.
Great.
All right. So it looks like we're caught up right now.
Oh, cool.
Those are last requests. Got some people in here, but everyone else being kind of quiet.
Well, that's great. And we're going to try to be far more consistent. We will be here the first and third Thursday of December. And then I think we will probably go back in January to the 2nd and 4th. But we're going to try to be more consistent in being here, and not my forgetting the date. Or by then, hopefully, Gregg will have learned how to use his new computer. Thank you, everybody, for being here. I am so grateful that you drop in, and we'll call it a night. But thank you for being here. Thank you for sharing your energy. And thank you to those that got readings for bringing your unique questions and insights so that we can all learn from everybody else. So that said, we'll say good night.
Good night.